The Raygun fiasco continues, and some people have gotten very upset that I called out the diversity grifter. I'm suffering a little bit of man flu today, as you can maybe hear. Some might say that's karma because I shouldn't have been making fun of poor Rachael. She should be applauded because she gave it her best shot. Maybe it is karma, but that's not going to stop me from pushing on through like the warrior that I am to bring you an update on this saga. And that's a great way to segue to today's sponsor.
Do you feel like you're suffering from the worst cold ever? Lemsip Max Cough and Cold's powerful formula quickly tackles all 5 major symptoms, helping you feel all-round soothing relief. Lemsip Max, your #1 choice for cold and flu.
Back to Raygun, and there's so much to catch up on. We'll start with the Aboriginal leader who accused Raygun of intentionally getting 0 points, saying, "Getting 0 points on purpose in 3 rounds for an academic study subsidised by the taxpayer both at university and Olympic level isn't funny and isn't having a go." We had progressive activist Niham Maddock calling Raygun out as just another one of these white female academics who's so intent on decolonising that she's done a full loop back round to colonising again. Don't you just love it when they start eating their own? Niha also raised her suspicions of the selection process, pointing out that there are probably lots of black and brown dancers across Sydney who could perform better than Raygun, and I would have to agree with that. I was living up in Sydney for 18 months not too long ago, and you'd see these kids doing their breakdance moves in the city. It's obvious that there were others who could have performed better than her. An American hip-hop artist waded in saying that she clearly did not understand the history of breakdancing. I mean, didn't anyone explain to this guy that Rachael is super educated and she's got a PhD from Macquarie University? Anna Mears, she's like the nanny for the Aussies at the Olympics, came out and guilt-tripped everyone for mocking Rachael. Listen out for all the emotional manipulation slogans like, "I love Rachael." If you don't know Rachael's story, Rachael was crying.
What I can say is that I love Rachael. If you don't know Rachael's story, in 2008, she was locked in a room crying.
She makes it sound like Martin Sheen locked in a Saigon hotel room smashing the mirror. So because she burst into tears and locked herself into a hotel room in 2008, we all have to hold back any criticism of her. I mean, we've got to applaud her because she got a place at the Olympics over others who probably deserved it more. You'd think that after 16 years she would have gotten a little bit better at it, or at least realised that breaking's not the sport for her.
And it took great courage for her to continue on.
Look, I guess Rachael does have some courage because it would have taken mammoth-sized balls to brazenly try and con the world as she did, claiming that she's an Olympic-level breakdancer.
She is the best breakdancer female that we have for Australia.
Anna said that Raygun was the best breakdancer that we have, and I have to disagree. Footage of other Australian breakers has been getting shared online, including some of this girl Molly, who was the person Raygun beat to make the Olympics. It's clear that Molly can actually pull off some power moves. That's the fancy moves that are enjoyable to watch, and which I assume must be worth more points in the eyes of the judges. But she still lost to Raygun. Very strange. Then I realised that Raygun's husband was the coach for the Olympics breaking team. Nice little side gig for him. He too appears to be pretty average when it comes to breaking. There have been accusations that she and the husband had set up Ausbreak, the breaking club that was deemed by the Olympics to be the governing body in Australia. While I don't think that is true, or at least it's not been proven yet, I do think that they had a lot of influence within that group. And I believe that Ausbreak represents only a fraction of breakers in Australia, so most breakers didn't have a chance from the start. There's an interesting thread on Reddit, which I'll link in the video description, and this guy Kev, also known as Duke of Dialogue, is diving deep into it on X. This clip surfaced of Rachael receiving a Sports Star of the Year award.
The winner of Sports Star of the Year is Rachael Gunn. Wowzers, thank you so much. I think it is just so cool that a breaker has won Sports Star of the Year. Like, that's just... a dancer has won it, what?
Her speech here shows just how well she plays people. She talks with confidence, even if it isn't that grating, humble bragging drawl. You and I might see through this, but the average midwit does not.
Yeah, no, thank you so much, Pedestrian TV, for this award. It's such an honour. I do want to take a moment, though, just to thank the pioneers of this dance form that I'm so lucky to be able to do, the African American and Puerto Rican kids that created this form in the 70s. Yeah.
Every industry has these fake annual awards ceremonies. In fact, there are usually several for each industry, meaning that everyone gets awarded for something as long as they pay for their membership fee. It's so meaningless, it truly is participation trophy culture. However, she's got decent legs, so I'll give her that. Go into your local real estate office and I guarantee you that they have a bunch of Real Estate Agent of the Year trophies proudly on display. Now, I really don't want to go down another rabbit hole, but I did a quick search for real estate awards, and on the first page I can see links to 3 different award ceremonies in Victoria. There's the REB Awards, the REIV Awards for Excellence, and the REA Excellence Awards. So if you've ever gone to an awards ceremony for your industry and gotten all excited when you got the best project team or the highest sales for the year or employer of the year, just keep in mind that everyone is getting these participation trophies, okay? So don't be getting too smug. And I bet there's going to be a few viewers upset by that comment. No, Tom, really? Our team is the best. We put a ping pong table in the lunchroom and now satisfaction's up by 80% and we deserved our industry award. Her overconfidence also on display in this clip from The Project, where she has a discussion with the equally intolerable Sarah Harris.
Your background's in ballroom dancing, right?
Yeah, I did ballroom for many years, and I also did jazz and tap and some hip-hop as well.
Is there any kind of parallels between the two?
Look, I mean, I think my understanding of musicality going into breaking was very strong. My body awareness, my coordination, my eye for technique has been much stronger going into the dance.
Her sense of self-worth is through the roof. How anyone can talk about themselves in such high regard is beyond me. Maybe that's just my Scottish self-loathing, but I find it healthy to at least question your own abilities from time to time rather than wander through life thinking you're fantastic at anything you put your hand to.
My understanding of musicality.
Unfortunately, she's had everyone around her tell her that she is amazing, and she believes them. And I guess the few times she has been criticised, she locks herself in a room and cries, then shouts misogyny. Now, I've noticed at times when Rachael knows that she has overplayed her hand and that she's been caught out in her lies, she does this little nervous squinting thing and pokes her tongue out, perhaps the lizard in her trying to get out.
I entered the 101B Girl, and we had an international battle guest from Japan, and I won.
To show the world what breakers can do.
But hey, what do I know about analysing human behaviour? I don't have a PhD. I can't find the tweet, but I did see someone from another Olympic team, it might have been the Norwegians, saying that, hey, we partied with Raygun and she was really cool and fun. Yeah, alright, so book her for your next karaoke night or your kid's birthday. Don't send her to the f***ing Olympics. But in terms of entrepreneurship, maybe Raygun is actually a genius. The media are already manipulating the public with headlines such as, "She broke the internet and captured our hearts. Raygun stands proud." And as others have pointed out, she'll likely have a run of all the talk shows when she gets back to Australia, and then she can get more research funding to write papers with titles such as "How I Made It as an Olympian Within a Patriarchal Society." Maybe even a Netflix special called Rachel's Story, where we get 30 minutes of Rachel's downward spiral in the hotel room. Now, that previous video I put out, I do enjoy reading all the comments. It's encouraging to see that people get a laugh out of these videos. But I'll admit this, I get more of a thrill from people in the comments raging at me, defending DEI and throwing out social justice buzzwords. If these people get upset, you know you've hit the nail on the head. To say this is DEI is really pathetic commentary. It's delusional. Do some research. Hey, see you next Tuesday. See, she's using coded language to have a go at me there. She did more for breaking than anyone else there. More people hit the floor because of her than anyone. Facts. Wow, wow, wow. Let's just bully, shame and humiliate a grown woman for having a go. Well done, people. Sad face. You're right, I take it all back. The Olympics should be about having a go. They should take away the gold, silver and bronze medals and make sure everyone is a winner. Yay! Not everyone has to be a winner at all, but not one person deserves to be humiliated. User EZ1DM, I disagree. I think we all need a bit of humiliation to keep us in line. In fact, a bit more humiliation as a kid and Rachael wouldn't be in this mess. Everyone needs to stop slandering her. Keep your stupid opinions to yourself. Dance is about expressing yourself. She took a gamble and it backfired. Trying to destroy her on YouTube is just heartless. I hope she sues you all for slander, which she is legally entitled to do, and it would win with a landslide in court in any Western country. Nick Slayton's official legal advice to Raygun is to sue me for slander as she will win in a landslide. Well, I guess that'd be one better than getting 0 points at the Olympics. Hi mate. Hi buddy. Your attempted deconstruction of this woman is flawed and idiotic. She worked hard and diligently to achieve all she has, hardly a grifter. If you bother to do any research, you would also see she won her spot to represent Australia in open competition, fair and square. Sure, her performance at the Olympics was shit, but sport encourages originality and improvisation, so it's going to be a bit hit and miss on the day. Check out her performance of the qualifying event, it's pretty fine. No, I did check that out and the other girl did better. I don't like your tone or condescension. I suggest you crawl back into your hole and come out when you can dance as well as she can. Well, if I can dance as good as her after 16 years of training, then I better be allowed into the Olympics. Skill issue. Hope you get a strike for this. Alright. I don't see how her being a woman is DEI hire for a women's comp. That's ridiculous. This has nothing to do with DEI or what's down between her legs. How is this DEI? It was a women's division and she is a woman. Please keep it classy with the amount of hate. It's fair to laugh, it's fair to criticise the selection process, but why on earth do you attack her job? And to bring DEI into it really makes no sense at all. Why did I bring DEI into it? Because this is her grift. Look at her LinkedIn page. She's got a history of writing papers that reinforce her sense of victimhood and therefore allows her access to all sorts of funding for victimhood grifters. In lieu of any talent, she collects achievement certificates, Aboriginal cultural safety training, classroom survival skills, proudly listing that she was a student representative on the Higher Degree by Research Committee. Now, I know from my experience at universities that this is a rubber stamping committee for the most part, and the student who gets invited to sit on the committee has zero input at all. It's a fake committee that's set up to give the impression of structure and order and professionalism. Yet to the outsider, it sounds like she was part of something impressive. All of these things combined communicate to her friends, colleagues, supervisors, dance selectors that she is part of an untouchable elite who cannot be criticised. It influences everyone around her. For decades, I've worked with these people and I've kept my mouth shut, allowing them to have all their advantages over me as they simultaneously claim that I, the straight white male, are oppressing them. And, ladies, I have seen highly competent females rejected in favour of DEI hires. Only in recent years I've decided to find my balls and start calling them out. Her embracing of DEI puts her at an advantage over any female who rejects DEI and who wishes to compete and achieve success based on merit. I sympathise with young girls today. The temptation to reject meritocracy in favour of the DEI easy way out must be huge. Anyone who takes LinkedIn this seriously is a fraud, and we've got an epidemic of these frauds in Australia. Here's another one from Melbourne who now calls herself doctor because she did a PhD on brand Lady Gaga. You send your kid to uni, this is what you are funding. Or when the government gives grants to unis or bails them out, then this is what your taxes are funding. Now, a few people were particularly offended by my joke at the end when I alluded to Raygun having nothing of value other than what is between her legs. What the hell was that last comment about? Was a reasonable critique till the sexism. Wind it in a bit. Trevor Brown giving me a telling off there. Trevor gave me a call immediately after that to apologise. You see, his wife was standing behind him as he typed that, and it's the only way he convinced her to give him a hand job. So I'll quietly let you off with that one, mate. Hope the hand shandy was worth it. I get all that, but what is in between her legs is beneath you. It really is. We can dislike someone, but to stretch to that comment is sad. I only disagree with your final statement. Alright. I was with you until your misogyny reared its tiny little head at the end, and it looks like some male feminist spouting the usual buzzwords in the hope of getting some female attention. I was with you till the last comment. That was gross. Wow, was just about to comment about the vile last line and saw that you wrote a response. I loved the rest of the video, by the way, but that last comment unfortunately is the sort of thing that fuels feminism. Now, I am sure all of these outraged commenters have made jokes about the jobs for the boys culture that has existed in the past, where men would hire men simply because it was another bloke, so, based on what's between their legs. I would laugh at those jokes. I would make those jokes too. Men should not be given a job solely on the basis of what's between their legs, other than maybe acting adult films. I often saw jobs for the boys as a class thing rather than a male-female thing, but I think the point still stands. I mock men in plenty of my videos, particularly the weak men who are creating hard times, so I'm not out to attack just women. In fact, I'm standing up for competent women who deserve more and are being put to the side in favour of these diversity clowns. Just maybe some of the women getting offended by that comment can identify that they themselves have used what's between their legs to gain an advantage in life. Anyway, I don't hate Raygun or wish her harm. She just needs to acknowledge her privilege and stop leeching off DEI. I'm going for another lem sip. Enjoy your day.